So like blending it in my personal opinion, please don't sue me, I have got a dupe for Hailey Bieber's favourite lip liner. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be testing / showing you some makeup dupes. I've done so many of these videos before and it's time to do another one. I think the last one I did was 3 months ago, which it felt like way sooner than that. So yeah, I don't think I've got anything more to say in the intro. Let's just get into it. So earlier on today, I had so many products swatched all up my arms. I will insert a picture because I was testing all sorts of different things, trying to find different dupes, because there were a few dupes that I already knew of that I knew I wanted to feature in this video, but I was like, I can't make a video of just like 2. But we're going to start on a very obvious one. Most people know about this already, but this is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer versus the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I have tried and tested both of these, and I did actually do an ad with e.l.f. on this primer in a video a few weeks back, but this is not an ad. They are so similar, and I think I will do the dupes on this side and the non-dupes on this side. But this is a very well-known dupe, so this is why I'm just gonna sort of like skim over this one at the beginning, because a lot of people have spoken about this. They've got a very similar sticky texture. So the e.l.f. one and then the Milk one. The e.l.f. one's actually a little bit stickier than the Milk one, and it's a slightly thicker texture. So like blending it in, the e.l.f. one sort of sticks a bit more to your fingers. But in terms of keeping your makeup on and like the stickiness of them, so similar. I would say like once you actually blend them in, they pretty much have the same amount of stickiness. The only main difference I would say is that the Milk one feels a little bit more hydrating, but yeah, in terms of like the stick, they are definitely a dupe for one another, and I think the e.l.f. one is like a 10er. So that's the first one in case anybody didn't know about these. They're both still great primers and I still use both of them, to be honest. In the last one of these videos, I showed you guys a dupe for the NARS Radiant Longwear Foundation, and so if you want to find out what that was, go and have a look at that video. And that is one of my favourite foundations. In this video, I wanted to find a dupe for the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I'd actually seen on TikTok that the L'Oreal Plumping Tinted Serum is supposedly a dupe for this, but they are quite similar, but I think I've got an even closer dupe, and I've actually got 2 because I couldn't decide which one is more similar. But either of these are a pretty good dupe for the NARS one. I will say though that the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation is beautiful, and you can't, like, it's not quite an exact match. If you want something along those lines that is very similar and gives a very similar appearance to your skin, I would highly recommend these 2, which are both really similar to each other. Is the L'Oreal Skin Paradise Tinted Water Cream, and also the recent L'Oreal BB cream stuff that I mentioned in a testing video. It's only just come to the UK, and I honestly think that this is about to blow up, but it's so good. It's the Age Perfect BB cover. Give it a shake. The NARS one I'm going to put on this side of my face. The tinted water cream I'm going to put on this cheek. So if I just try and squeeze out a similar amount. The shades don't quite match up. The NARS one I've got in the shade Vienna, and the tinted water cream I've got in light 01. This is a bit darker. And then on my forehead, I'm gonna put the BB cover Age Perfect stuff, which I've got in the shade light beige 02. In terms of texture, these 2 probably feel the most similar, but they all just give such a beautiful radiant glow to your skin. I do normally apply the L'Oreal one with a brush. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna use a brush to apply these. So let's go in with the NARS one first. It's got really nice coverage, but it's like quite thin. Can you see how it sort of like covered some of my little scars down here pretty well? It's not full coverage, it's like a medium coverage, I would say. But oh my gosh, it just looks so smooth. And this foundation photographs beautifully. Okay, so that's the NARS Light Reflecting. Okay, so the L'Oreal Tinted Water Cream on this side. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie guys, they feel so similar. I think just looking at me, you might not even be able to tell that I'm wearing 2 different things on my face, because the finish of them, can you see they're both got that really nice glow? And then let's blend the BB cream stuff out on my head. This one is a bit thicker in terms of the texture, but it's still thin. Like, it's not a thick foundation, it's just thicker than the other 2. Yeah, sorry, does it look like I've got 3 different products on my face? I think if you looked at me right now, you would just think I'm wearing 1 foundation. They're so similar. And we'll do a bit of a spot the difference. Can you actually tell that I've got anything different on my face? It looks like I'm wearing all just 1 product. The main difference between these 2, the tinted water cream and the BB cream, I would say the BB cream has got a tiny bit more coverage, and this one is a bit of a thinner texture, but they're very, very similar. And either of these give an extremely similar finish to the NARS Light Reflecting. Out of the 2, I'd probably pick this one as the dupe. Just a little up close. And this is in natural lighting. I mean, I'm looking very glowy and I would definitely have to powder, but you know what, guys? I'm going to go leave the room. I'm just going to take a flash photo just because obviously the L'Oreal one has got SPF 50. The NARS one, I don't know if this has got SPF in it. And the tinted water cream has got SPF 20. So let me just go do a flashback test and I'll be right back. Okay, I look really freaky in those pictures that I just took, but they all pretty much photograph the same. I'm just going to put a bit of the Body Shop Vitamin C concealer on and I will be right back for the next dupe. So the next dupe that I've got to show you guys is for the Fenty Beauty Cream Bronzer. I have got the shade 02 Butter Biscuit and this is compared to the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer, and it doesn't say the shade. Oh, it does. Honey Drip is the shade that I've got in the e.l.f. one. These both come in really good shade ranges, but the texture of these is very, very similar. And also the colour of both of these ones is very similar. They're both quite cool toned. The Fenty one is a little bit lighter, but actually on the skin, I don't think they look wildly different. So I'm gonna obviously put the e.l.f. one on this side and I'm just gonna dip into this. I think these are literally like a £5 and I've probably actually picked up a bit much there. Oh, I should probably show you as well, like the texture of them, they both melt quite easily. So as soon as you touch them, they sort of start melting on your finger, which is nice. And in terms of like the sheen that they give and the texture of them, can you see they both look quite similar? And yeah, in terms of how they feel, they're both very, very creamy and they have a similar amount of sort of pigmentation. The e.l.f. one is a little bit more warm toned, but it's more like the texture of these that is very, very similar. In my personal opinion, please don't sue me. The only thing that really annoys me about the e.l.f. ones is why did they make them so freaking small? I just wish they made them a bit thinner and flatter like the Putty Primer. And as you can see, it's a very natural finish. It just sort of like blends in with the foundation. And then and then I'm gonna take the Fenty one. Yeah, in terms of the shades, the Fenty one is definitely more cool toned. Oh, did I say what? Yeah, I think I did say what shade I had, didn't I? They're both just very natural looking with a slight glow. I probably do need a darker shade of the Fenty one actually. It's quite pale. Let's take a little bit down the nose. So this is the Fenty one. And then the e.l.f. one on the other side of the brush. And then I'll take my sponge, blend over those. If you like a natural finish to your cream bronzers, both of these give a very similar kind of effect. Nothing too crazy, nothing too heavy. You can build them up, but when you first apply them, they go on quite sheer. The textures are really similar. I like both of them. I'm just gonna go set my face and then I will be back again. I'm just gonna add a little bit of bronzer. This is the Kiko Festival Glow Baked Bronzer in the shade 2 Burnt Sienna. And then a little bit of blush. Can you believe that, like, however many years later, I am still using Milani Luminoso? Also, sorry if you can hear James next door, he's streaming, and our rooms are not very soundproof. The next dupe that I have is for a highlighter, and this is for the Benefit Cookie highlighter, which looks like this. It's a beautiful highlighter, I absolutely love it. It's this champagne-y pink sort of toned highlighter, and it's very reflective. The dupe that I have for this is actually one of the new ones by Kiko. I think they're new anyway, because I'd never seen them before. Maybe I'm just really behind. But this is the Kiko Ultimate Glow Highlighter in 01. And if I just show you them side by side, can you see they're very similar in terms of the colour and the reflectiveness, and I'll just give you a little swatch as well. So that is them both on my hand. This is the Benefit one and this is the Kiko one. So you can see a slight difference between them. The Benefit one is maybe a tiny bit more icy, but actually on the skin they look very, very similar. The Benefit one on this side, oh my god. Jesus. I just look very sweaty today, don't I? And then I'm gonna wipe off all the excess on my hand. You know what? I need a bit more powder, I think. I'm looking excessively glowy today. So that's that one. And then on this side, taking the Kiko, which looks like this. So that is the difference between them. It looks crazy excessive because of the light coming in through the window, and I probably did put on a bit much, but they're so similar on the skin. I actually think I slightly prefer the Kiko one. They are both absolutely beautiful highlighters. I love both of them, but they are both very similar. So if you're looking for something a little bit more affordable, there's the Kiko option. I can't really do either one down the center of my nose, so I'm just gonna take the Kiko one. The Benefit one is probably a little bit more pigmented when you actually swatch it, but when you apply them to your face, they both apply really similar. I've just filled in my brows with this Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim in medium brown. I don't have any dupes for my eyes today, so I'm just going to do my eye makeup quickly and then I'll be back. So I've just done a bit of eyeliner, and the next dupe that I've got to show you guys is actually a setting spray. And this one I'm trying for the first time because I have never tried this yet. It is the Milk Hydro Grip set and refresh spray. However, from what I can see, this has got like bits of oil sort of floating around in it. So I don't think this is going to be a dupe, but I've seen people talking about how this setting spray is supposedly really similar to this e.l.f. one, which is the e.l.f. Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. I'm actually nearly out of this. It's one of my favorite setting sprays. I really, really like it. It's really like soft and it actually sticks your makeup on, whereas this one, because it's got that oily layer on the top, can you see, you sort of have to shake it. I don't think this is going to be a dupe. I mean, the spritzers are quite a dupe. Oh, it doesn't smell nice. I'm gonna have to test it with a bit of eyeshadow. So I'm gonna just take a brown eyeshadow, one up here and the other one I'm gonna do down here. Let's do the e.l.f. one closest to my wrist, the Milk one up here. And we'll just wait for those to dry and see which one smudges. In the meantime, I'm going to spray them on my face. So e.l.f. on this side. And then the Milk one on this side. It's a nice fine mist. Okay, just from my initial thoughts, now that they've both dried, the e.l.f. one feels a bit more matte. The Milk one feels a bit tacky. As in, like, my makeup feels a bit stickier on this side. I think it looks a little bit oilier as well, whereas the e.l.f. one dries mostly matte. Actually, they both look kind of similar, I guess, but this one just feels a little bit stickier. And the Milk one has taken its sweet time to dry. It's still not fully dried, so let's just wait a little bit longer. In the meantime, I will put some mascara on. This is the Milani Anti-Gravity Mascara. It's done an alright job. God, I look so shiny though. Okay, so time for the ultimate test. This is the e.l.f. one here. This is the Milk one. Let's do the e.l.f. one first, because I know that it doesn't smudge. Brilliant. And then the Milk one. Oh, it also doesn't smudge. Okay, that's really cool. Okay, then sure. In terms of the finish, the Milk one just feels a little bit stickier, a little bit more hydrating. The e.l.f. one is a bit more sort of matte, but they both stick your makeup on, so that's great. Nice. So finally, moving on to the lips. I have got a dupe for Hailey Bieber's favourite lip liner. This is the Makeup Forever Artist Colour Pencil in the shade 600 Anywhere Caffeine. I have actually done a whole video where I tried Hailey Bieber's makeup routine, and this was featured in it because she uses this lip liner all the time. And I have found a dupe for it, which is so similar, and it is the NYX Sandstorm lip liner, the NYX Suede Matte Lip Crayons. So if I just show you on my hand, this is the NYX one, and this is the NYX one next to the Makeup Forever one. Maybe the NYX one has got a hint more pink in it. So let's put it on my lips. So that's the NYX one there, and then the Makeup Forever one. You know what, I ended up going and taking it off because actually on the lips, like swatched all over my arms, they look identical, and on my hand they look identical. But on the lips, this one is actually a little bit lighter and it was quite a bit more cool toned. But I have a backup dupe that doesn't look as similar on my hand, but weirdly looks more similar on the lips. So let me do the Makeup Forever side first again, because I just want to take it off. So that is the Makeup Forever side, and then the other dupe that I have is the Body Shop Lip Definer in the shade... Why do they never list the shades on these? I think after doing a bit of Googling, I believe this is the shade Beach, which currently says out of stock on their website, but they do have it on eBay, so I will link it down below. Why am I incapable of lining my lips evenly? Okay, so there we go. They look very similar on the lips. Very, very similar. So that is the Body Shop dupe. And then, you know what? If you mix the two shades, because I've just added the NYX one over the top, it is the identical match. So that was the closest that I could get out of my lip liner collection. But if you guys know of any closer dupes, let me know, because I think the Body Shop one is a little bit more difficult to get hold of. A bit more powder, because I'm looking very, very oily. And then finally, I was sure that I'd mentioned this in a video before, and I swear I included it in a dupes video, but I couldn't find it. So if I'm repeating myself, ignore this, but just in case I'm not, and if you didn't know already, it's the Fenty Beauty Gloss in Fenty Glow and the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade Topaz. They're so similar. That is the Fenty one there, and then the Maybelline one is the one above it. Look how similar they are. They look identical. You know what it was? I think I did a TikTok on this. So that is the Fenty side, and then the Maybelline side. They feel so similar. The texture is pretty much identical. They both smell nice. They both give such a nice glossy finish. So similar. And that is me done. Those are some dupes tested. Looking at my face, would you even be able to tell that I've got drugstore on one side and high-end on the other? I'm not sure that you would. I think they both look so similar. This is the high-end side. This is the drugstore side. They look identical. And ignore this. A lot of my makeup came off when I washed my hair. So if you know of any other dupes, or if there are any other dupes that you want me to test, let me know in the comments down below. If you're not already subscribed to my channel and you like these kind of videos, subscribe, give this a thumbs up, and I can definitely do that. Maybe in another 3 months' time. I hope you guys are doing good, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!